Good afternoon. I'm Lori Shumaker, and I'm an associate degree RN nursing student at Hocking College. Today, I'm here to discuss with you the dangers of texting and driving. In our society, we've all become attached to our cell phones. They make our lives easier in many ways. One of the main features that's changed the way we communicate almost constantly is text messaging. Texting allows us to communicate with others anytime we want, and if you're not in the mood to talk, you don't have to. Makes it really easy for us. Research shows that most people don't shut their phones off. In fact, most teens admit to turning their phones to vibrate, and they sleep with it next to them at night or under their pillow so they can text in the middle of the night. Texting has become an addiction in our lives. We become so addicted to texting, we feel the need to text everywhere and whenever, including while we're driving. To be a safe driver, we need to pay attention to the streets, keep our hands on the wheels to control the movement of the cars. When we text, we actually remove our attention from the road, and we become a major risk for dangerous accidents. For every 6 seconds of driving, a texter spends 4.6 of them with their eyes off the road. It's a really big chunk of time if you really think about that. Texting and driving has become an epidemic for people of all ages, but mostly teens. Teens tend to think, oh, it's just one message, I can do that. They don't think about the consequences. They don't realize the amount of time they spend with their eyes off the road. In one study, a teen driving 55 miles an hour traveled the length of a football field, including both end zones, without ever looking at the road. How scary is that? Do you realize how long a football field is? We're talking 120 yards, 360 feet. Can you imagine the kind of things that can happen in that distance with not looking at the road? A ball rolls in the road, a kid runs after it. You're not looking at the road, you're not going to see him. Kid on a bike goes through, you're going to hit him. Scary stuff. Research was done at Eastern Virginia Medical School with 21 teens between the ages of 16 and 18. They took part in a simulated driving experience. They steered their vehicles erratically, weaving in and out of their lanes, running over virtual people. Luckily, it was only a virtual experiment and the people were not real. Texting forces them to take their eyes off the road. In addition, moving their fingers. Mistakes also include slowing down dramatically and weaving more than a foot outside of their lanes. When texting while driving, you are a hazardous driver to yourself and everybody else. You know, kids say they just can't help it. They pretty much have to text all day long, even while they drive. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration shows that in 2008 alone, nearly 100,000 teens were killed annually from texting and driving, and more than 500,000 were injured in crashes involving distracted drivers. In post-accident interviews, texters often can't recall driving through stop signs, driving through red lights. They just don't remember doing it because their focus was on the phone and not on the road in front of them. My question to you is, how would you feel to not have your phone? To have to sit in jail all day and think about texting because you were texting and you took someone's life? You have to live with that for the rest of your life. It not only ends the life of the person that you killed, but it ends your life essentially because you're sitting in jail and you can't do the things that you once had dreamed about. Here's another thought for you. You're driving home from the store, you're texting your friend, you wake up, you're in the hospital. Serious injuries from head to toe. You don't know what happened to you, your family's at your bedside crying. Was that text really worth it? Texting now is ranked at the top of the list with DUIs. It's kind of surprising to realize that. But you know, right now there's 31 states that have bans on texting. It used to be that the number of phone calls and texts that were received were pretty close to being equal. Now, you can see the orange line is texting, the black line is phone calls. Most communication done with teenagers today is done by texting, very little phone calls. Texting while driving, you are 6 times more likely to cause an accident than if you were drinking. Texting slows your reaction time to that of a 70-year-old. You're all young. You can't imagine reacting like a 70-year-old just because you're texting. Texting and driving accounts for 80%, that's 5,870 deaths, all crash-related, annually from texting. Teens are 4 more times likely to get in a crash due to texting than an adult is. Texting while driving impairs you more than drinking and driving. And texting while driving increases the time eyes are off the road by 400%. It's a dangerous thing, and it seems like it's so harmless, you know. Oh, I'll just take this text real quick. You know, we're all guilty of it. I've texted while I've driven, you know, the same as many others have. It takes one accident. There's so many 19, 20-year-olds that had such great lives ahead of them. They're texting, lose their focus on the road, try to overcompensate, and it has a bad outcome. And it not only affects the person, it affects their whole family. It changes the lives of so many people. You know, the numbers are what they are. So in closing, let me leave you with one last thought. No text message is worth your life, your friend's life, another driver, or a pedestrian. The numbers don't lie. You can make a change. If you don't text and drive, you're setting an example for others. Don't become another number. Make your car a no-phone zone and encourage your friends to do the same. You could be saving your life and the life of someone else. I have these pledges here. Oprah Winfrey's doing a big push on the no texting and no driving thing. And this is a pledge that it's saying, I pledge to make my car a no-phone zone. Beginning right now, I will do my part to help put an end to distracted driving by pledging the safest driving behaviors. I commit to, and then you'll choose one of these choices. I will not text while I'm driving. Or, I will not text while driving, and you'll only use hands-free communication while you're driving. If you absolutely need to speak to somebody while you're on the phone. I will not text or use my phone while I'm driving. If I need to use my phone, I will pull over to the side of the road. I will ask other drivers I know to do their part to end distracted driving. I pledge to make a difference. By you making a small change like that, you could potentially be saving somebody else's life. And I can't imagine the guilt that must come with because you were caught up in doing a text, taking a little kid's life. Kids on bikes are killed all the time because of people texting and driving. So I'll go ahead and hand these out. And I hope you seriously think about pledging these. And I thank you all for coming today.